Hello, it's Honey again, and in this 3-month hormone update video I'm going to mostly be talking about the delays that I'm experiencing at the moment in terms of results. In my last video I said I was going for blood tests on the 14th of September. I had these and the results came back and they sent them to the wrong clinic basically, so I'm still trying to find out what the results of that test was and whether or not my next set of patches will be changed, swapped out for pills like I suspect they will be, or whether or not my blocker is going to be altered at all because I've run into another delay or bit of a hiccup with the blood results that did come back from the doctor, showing that my creatinine levels are slightly raised, which basically means that my kidney, because I've only got the one because I donated one to a family member previously, is stressed and is unhappy, which is something that I was worried about when I started out on this process. That's why I initially turned down the offer of spirolactone and went with fenestride. As I was saying, my creatinine is slightly raised, which is an indication that my kidney's stressed and that things are not being cleaned out of my system as they should be. It is only a very slight raise. Normal ranges are between 60 and 106. Mine came back at 136, which, considering the family member in the past who had the kidney failure, levels were coming back in the high hundreds at times, it really is a very insignificant raise. But I am doing things to improve it, and I don't think, to be honest, it's got anything to do with the hormones. It's more likely the huge sums of travelling I've been doing for work recently. I've done about 1,500 miles in the last week travelling about, which has thrown out, and I've been to Leeds recently, I've travelled to Wales recently, I've travelled to Norfolk recently. All this travelling around has just really thrown my normal rhythm and things out of whack, so I haven't been eating or sleeping like I normally would, and basically I'm not surprised that my kidney is a little bit stressed. I'm just treating it by putting some more or extra water through it and reducing the amount of diuretics I drink, like fizzy pop and things like that, just to give it a chance to get back on its normal levels. Hopefully the issue with my results being forwarded to the clinic in Northampton, which haven't given me a place yet, they were supposed to be doing the referral, not sending my results there. Hopefully those results have now been forwarded to my private doctor, who will make the alterations to my next round of hormones, which basically I'm on my last 2 weeks supply of patches and blocker, so I was hoping to be able to film this video and have information about whether or not I'd be changing compounds or moving from patches to pills and things like that, because since I had my blood work done 3 months ago, this is the first follow-up set of blood results I've had since starting all of this, and I was really hoping to have some results and some interesting things to tell you about, you know, what was happening with my testosterone and what sort of levels I'm getting in estrogen and things like that. It is possible I might film or chuck an update onto the back of this later in the week if those results come through in the meantime, but I can only really delay this video another few days before putting it up, so if those results are not here, then I can't pass them on to yourselves. In terms of changes and improvements since my last update video, I haven't actually noticed a lot, other than my hair is continuing to grow back in, which is fantastic news, but other than that I really haven't noticed any decreased hair growth anywhere else. I haven't noticed any loss in muscle mass or anything like that. If anything, I've put on a little bit of weight, which I'm not thrilled about, but I suppose some of the weight has gone onto my chest, which is a good thing, but it just at the moment I can't really say they look like breasts. They just look like a man that needs to go to the gym, is what it looks like at the moment. But hopefully they'll shape up and get the kind of teardrop shape that would be nice eventually. I mean, I've got a lot of volume to gain before that even happens as well, but at the moment it just looks like I've got a set of saggy moves. So not the best look in the world, but it's progress, and that's all I can ask for. I also want to relay a story about when I went to the doctors for my blood test. Part of the procedure was to take my weight and blood pressure, etc. And healthcare professionals have often been the target of some rebuttal from the transgender community because of how insensitive they can be, like not choosing to use preferred names and things like that, or wandering into the waiting room and screaming out somebody's previous name instead of using their current one if they have changed it, and just general, I suppose, lack of sensitivity towards the transgender issues. And apparently my GP is going to be no different. After he took my weight and blood pressure, first thing he did when he took my blood pressure was to look at my arm and the cuff that he was using and just turn around and say, well, that's not going to fit, is it? We're going to have to use a large, which is just rude in general to anyone. When he was doing my BMI, he compared me to rugby players, saying, well, according to them, their BMIs are all morbidly obese, and that I shouldn't really worry about my BMI being slightly higher than the recommended because I was so broad-shouldered and muscular, which is what every transgender woman wants to hear from their GP, obviously. So I should probably add that while insensitive, they have been supportive in terms of actually acknowledging my requests for things and agreeing to all the treatments that have been laid out so far. They've not exactly been quick about it, which is why I've got a private doctor as well, because as I've said previously, the NHS are so slow that you can't get much done, but some things I have to get done through my GP, such as the referral for the gender clinic and things like that, and they're just so slow with that sort of thing. But they're not standing in my way, at least. They are saying yes to things, they are agreeing to treatments, so I can't complain too loudly, but they could be a little more sensitive as to how they address certain things, and it'd be nice if they were quicker at it. I hope this has been helpful to you, and I will see you all again soon. Mwah.